Hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast as part of a Torrential unit. This audio podcast is part of a windstorm lambast. This audio podcast as part of a storm and Ostix matter. This audio podcast as part of the bookish, and this audio podcast as part of a storm and Ostix production. In this through this audio podcast today, looking at the research gap and research sort of approach, and the sort of research question and the sort of strength and limitations of a publication of a publication by Mohammed from in around 2017. The publication was a publication in a scientific journal, but additionally the publication the publication was additionally sort of presented at the British Blood and Transfusion Society (BBTS) BBTS as a research poster in around 2017. So and as part of the research gap and approach, the publication looks at the need to consider renal health in transfusion care research to inform best practice. The main objective of this publication was to highlight a need to consider renal health in transfusion care or transfusion care services. And as part of the research question, the research poster looks to provide an overview of blood transfusion practices in context of leadership, and to highlight what practices would support the development of blood transfusion guidelines and an understanding of treatment alternatives taking renal insufficiency into consideration. The publication the publication or the research poster was in the remit of a scientist's perspective on laboratory medicine and integrated transplant immunobiology services for CKD recipients, and the strength of the publication was where the research poster presentation looked to outline kidney disease or kidney conditions in context of blood transfusion laboratory practice, since there have been no university accepted treatment guidelines for managing transfusion care in recipients with long-term conditions or chronic illnesses. Additionally, the research poster looks to highlight how blood transfusion practices differ between hospitals, different hospitals, for example, regions and countries, in context of laboratory medicine and leadership practice. The research poster presentation was one at BBS in 2017. One of the limitations of the publication one of the limitations of the research poster and of the research poster was that it did not use sort of a formal critical analysis, such as a systematic review. That draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast as part of a torrential unit. This audio podcast as part of a windstorm lambast. This audio podcast as part of a storm and Ostix matter. This audio podcast as part of the bookish, and this audio podcast as part of a storm and Ostix production.